The communist leaders in China could stop this. But now that China is open for business, they cannot stop this.
You want answers?
I want the truth.
You can't handle the truth.
Trade has opened the door to the rest of the world for American influence.
And you know what they call a quarter pounder with cheese in Paris? They call it Royale with cheese.
And American values.
Here's what I can do for you.
The power of American commerce has made America admired.
Down, down, USA!
And hated. From South America to Europe, Africa to Australia, wherever you go, America is there. Back in 1776, when Thomas Jefferson was listing the grievances against the King of England, in the Declaration of Independence, he wrote that the king was cutting off all our trade with the rest of the world. Tonight, we're going inside an American company that wants to grow and conquer in every corner of the world. And they are selling a product that could not be more American.
From Bangkok, Sao Paulo, San Juan, and Toronto, from London, Amsterdam, Shanghai, and Rome, the sun never sets on the Frito-Lay Empire. The J is our office, the sky is our home.
We begin in Plano, Texas, a suburb of Dallas, which is headquarters for the world's biggest potato chip company, Frito-Lay. That's right, the potato chip.
A series of small air jets.
The columnist George Will once said the potato chip is the perfect delivery device for fat and salt. Many Americans find them irresistible.
I like to eat them with lunch. I like to eat them late at night when I'm not supposed to.
But this is a global story about an American product in foreign lands, selling a little something of America. This is a story about opportunity, culture shock, economic imperialism to some, and a light unto the world for others. They're the ones who work at Frito-Lay.
Everything good happens from growth in business. And everything bad happens from lack of growth in business. And so if you want to be successful in business, you want to grow. Here's what's in my bonus objectives, you guys.
Dwight Risky runs research and development at Frito-Lay. He's part of the high command in this global campaign. Here he is teaching their far-flung employees to promote potato chips to people who don't even know they want them.
The ability of a consumer to absorb all of the new initiatives that we throw at them, basically.
The company brings in its most promising young employees from around the world to Plano, to Frito-Lay's Marketing University, they call it. Here they are taught by the company's best.
Salty snacks actually gain share of stomach.
Dwight Risky and virtually everyone else here has been steeped in the notion that American free enterprise is good for the nation, good for the world, and certainly good for them. Frito-Lay is owned by PepsiCo. This year, Frito-Lay will make more than half of PepsiCo's $3 billion in profit, more than any other division in the company. This is headquarters for PepsiCo, an estate on 168 acres in Purchase, New York. It is a stunning example of what a hugely successful American business spent its money on 30 years ago. Magnificent gardens, some of the world's great sculpture. Today, the company could never spend money like this. The stockholders wouldn't tolerate it. The CEO is Steve Reineman. He's a former Marine who knows about the pressure of competition. When I use the word pressure, does that sound like headquarters?
Oh, I think everybody. I mean, that's what makes our company great. I mean, if you aren't motivated by the pressure, I mean, it's like a runner, you know, with 2 or 3 people right behind him. The pressure to continue to perform is there.
What would happen to you if PepsiCo didn't increase sales this year?
Oh, I'm sure the board would have some counsel for me, as they should.
This is the man who runs North America for Frito-Lay. His passion for American business is very personal. Al Brew was born in Cuba. His family came here in search of opportunity. Mr. Brew became a U.S. citizen in 1968.
Welcome to Miami.
And he began his career at one of the company's plants 26 years ago.
You can get on a plane, go anywhere in North America, go anywhere in Europe, go anywhere in Asia, and see the same logos, the same brand identities in place. That is a great achievement. Something that for a company that had humble beginnings in Middle America, it is amazing.
We feel if we go double dip and doing something else.
Frito-Lay is not alone in this field.
We feel like this is a
Everywhere they go, the executives have to eat potato chips. Its biggest global competitor is Procter & Gamble, which makes Pringles. We wanted Procter & Gamble as part of this story. They declined. But Frito-Lay dominates the field. It has 44 factories in North America.
We feel, not to be cocky, not to be arrogant, but we feel like we have the formula. We understand how to make great potato chips. Never have we introduced Lay's potato chips and had it not be successful. It's been successful every single place we've introduced it.
Every year, Frito-Lay turns nearly 3 billion tons of potatoes into potato chips. Can we just say that one more time? 3 billion tons of potatoes into potato chips. There is real American history to the potato chip. When Thomas Jefferson was minister to France in the 18th century, he enjoyed potatoes the French fried way. He brought the idea home to America. And then in 1853, at Saratoga Springs, New York, the railroad baron Cornelius Vanderbilt sent an order of French fried potatoes back to the kitchen because he thought they were too soggy. The cook, who was apparently insulted, responded by slicing the potatoes paper thin and frying them to a crisp. Mr. Vanderbilt loved them, and the potato chip was born.
Good morning, Frito-Lay.
There are two other Americans who are important to this story. They're up there on the wall at headquarters. In 1932, this young man named Herman Lay from Tennessee was trying to grow his tiny potato chip business in the South. The other man, named Elmer Doolin from Texas, was trying to introduce a corn chip, which he called a Frito. Rather than fight it out, in 1961, the two companies merged to become Frito-Lay. Today, these factories are monuments to the American free enterprise system. Bigger is better. As we discovered in the trenches, the ingredients never change: potatoes, salt, and oil. But making the perfect potato chip day after day is not that easy. John Lunati is the manager at the Frito-Lay plant in Killingly, Connecticut.
How important is consistency to you? Every minute of every day we are measuring the quality attributes of the potato chip.
Frito-Lay decided a long time ago that it could sell consistency. American business knows well that having a good product and delivering the same thing every time is the best way to make money.
So every potato is different, and I think the challenge is get them all to yield the same finished product.
During every shift, in every factory, everywhere, the production team pulls a bag of chips off their own assembly line and compares it to a bag from headquarters. A plain, white bag they call the gold standard.
You never say, well, I like it this way. This is what our consumers want, and this is what we want to produce.
Whether we agree with it or not, that's what they want, and that's what we're going to give them. Flavor. Taking reference first. Everybody set? 1, 2, 3, shoot. Some ones. Ones. What are you guys picking up?
There might be some thickness variability because I picked up a soft one as well.
I was throwing
less crunchy.
Yeah. Like a bitter. Yeah. Oily.
Oily mouthfeel.
So there is action to be taken here.
If you sent this random bag off your assembly line to headquarters, which is noticeably different from the gold standard, would they get on your case?
I think they'd give us feedback about opportunities they saw.
They'd get on your case.
They'd give us appropriate feedback for sure.
Okay, let's go with texture next.
Don't you just sometimes hate the sight of potato chips?
Not I.
I've been working here almost 20 years, and I have not stopped eating the chips yet.
Especially the vinegar chips.
Oh, yeah. I love my salt
We can't get
vinegar.
away from it.
I've been eating them now for 20 years, and...
It don't show on Tim?
Nope, not at all.
It don't show.
Do you take some pleasure or excitement in the notion that Lay's is trying to take over the world and win stomach share in so many other countries?
That's the name of the game. If you want to be number one, you have to be out there and you have to be in everybody's presence. So if that's what it takes, go after it. Besides, our share power is going up.
That's right. We've got to get those shares up.
Okay, flavor.
Benjamin Franklin would love watching this. He was the businessman among the founding fathers. He never tasted a gold standard Lay's potato chip. But Franklin believed that business could be an engine of progress and a benefactor for all. Before dawn, the Frito-Lay ground troops move on supermarkets all across America. Their job is to fight for territory, shelf by shelf. Ben Franklin would agree that having a good and honest relationship with the store manager might get you better space.
We'll get some product in here, and we're going to make you some money. Make me some money.
Thanks, Troy.
See you in the morning?
Yep. Thanks, Ian. Appreciate it.
I think of the world of our snack-using population as having three parts to it. Light users, the bottom 1/3 of household. Medium users, and, you guessed it, heavy users. The heaviest 10% of snack-using households out there represent 42% of our sales volume, and they represent 100% of our growth.
What do you do about someone who is actually nervous about eating potato chips because they're afraid, A, they may become addicted to them, or B, the more they eat them, the more weight they're going to put on?
Well, I will promise you there is no physiological addiction that happens with potato chips. That's not the way it happens.
A bag of potato chips, 1 ounce bag of potato chips, has less fat than a glass of milk. So I'm not saying now don't drink milk, eat potato chips instead of milk, but I'm saying a potato chip as a product is made with very good ingredients.
We don't want to force anybody to eat these things. This is food for the fun of it. That's our corporate logo. It's food for the fun of it.
But it's also food for the stockholder.
That's right. And we want to grow that business, and we will continue to grow that business. I don't think we want to become 50% of all calories consumed. That's not our objective at all. But there's plenty of room to grow before we ever get to that stage.
And Frito-Lay needs to grow. More than 200 years after its founding, America is no longer big enough for the ambitions of American business. Global opportunity is the story of the 21st century. Americans eat about as many potato chips as they can already. There is not enough profit here to satisfy the shareholders. Frito-Lay had to go global.
What does Frito-Lay worldwide look like today?
This is Salman Amin. He was born in Pakistan. He lives for potato chips, and he divides the world into those who eat Lay's and those who don't. At least not yet. Amin is a world-class salesman who once sold sanitary napkins for Procter & Gamble to women in Saudi Arabia, where he could only talk to men about what he was selling.
We win. Every single time.
Salman Amin and his wife Neelam, who's also from Pakistan, are a familiar American immigrant story. He succeeded in American business. She teaches at a community college. American history.
It seemed like a logical decision for us to say that the United States would be home for us long term. And having an opportunity to come and work and compete against the best of the best and to be able to succeed is a wonderful experience.
During our time with the Amins, they, like so many others who come here, became American citizens.
I hereby declare on oath. That I absolutely...
In the globalization of business, America has been enriched by so many people from so many other places, including Amin and his family.
Bye-bye.
Today, Frito-Lay relies on people from 100 countries.
There's a whole big wide world out there, and I truly believe that there's a passion associated with taking the great product that we make here and exposing consumers from all over the world to it. It's a fantastic opportunity, and that is a natural way for us to grow.
And that is Professor Amin. 3 times a year, he's a star at Frito-Lay's Marketing University in Plano. His students are employees from around the world.
It's been a real pleasure being with you this week. I think I can take this off now.
A generation ago, companies like Frito-Lay sent Americans across the globe to run their foreign operations. Today, they have learned that hiring locals and training them in American methods makes much better business sense. Salman Amin does not automatically believe that the rest of the world will be better off if everyone eats potato chips. He does know that Frito-Lay will be better off, and he is under pressure to deliver.
Do you believe there's any part of the world in which you cannot sell Lay's?
No.
Well, we'll see.